And again, I go back to academia on this. We spend a lot of time making people learn before they're allowed to call themselves a teacher or a professor. You know, and for some reason, people still want to do it. So again, if any of you want to talk about graduate education or undergraduate education later, you can talk to me about it. But you can spend the time here because you're committed to becoming an expert, going from being a novice to an expert. So things like open source, at this point, open source programming environment, it's a lot of learning. You have to know the programming language. You have to get to know how the group works. You have to get to know the proper way to report a bug, the proper way to fix it, the proper way to contribute the code. So a lot to learn. And then you get people who are distinguished as being experts and novices. And so you get a whole distinction. You get membership, which is role specific. You get people, oh, this person's really good at fixing this kind of the code. And this person's really good at that part of the code. So you find the differentiations in here because you will take the time to learn it. And again, your commitment here is going to be not only to the task you're doing, but also to the survival of the group. And that to me is a big difference between the two. One of them you always care about having a little fun, and you're generally interested in the area, but you're going to put a little bit of effort in. The other one is maybe your future job, it may be your current job, it may be where you're passionate, it may be where a career you hope to go into. It may be just that you really care about the social problem or you want to begin discussing it. So you spend time learning, and you want to spend time arguing with other people about how things should be organized. Evaluation. There's always some kind of reward or recognition system. We're social animals, but we're also a little bit competitive as well. Some people have a lot of competition as part of their personality, some people have a little, but I don't think any of us doesn't compete. We like a little, we have that person, getting a higher salary, getting more contacts, getting more invitations than I am. We're always comparing all of this. So in the lightweight side, the only one thing you can do is because the contributions are all identical, the only thing you can do is count them. But once you've counted them, you can then stick them into statistical programs. So you can say, okay, well, let's say I want people to choose which of these 10 colors they like the best. Well, then I can run that through a statistical program to get my answer. Not a comment on it.
Some people get busy about it.
So I think everyone thinks. Okay, yes. That's counting, but you can also then start running the stuff to statistical programs. So remember that behind the scenes in these lightweight enterprises, somebody who set it up. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. And that person has all the data. Heavyweight, as I said, we're doing qualitative judgment. And again, I go back to academia, and it's a tremendous peer review system to get people to determine what the quality of the article. If anybody in journalism, they know exactly the same issue. There's a lot of, what's the quality of paper that has to go in before it can be published? What kind of things do you have to do? So those things are hard to judge. And so the other thing is that when you put in your contribution to a community, it also matters who's paying attention to your contribution. So we get back to social networks a little bit here. If if a new student writes a paper in academia, and some other student says, I want to quote it, okay, fine. But if the top person in the field says how good that paper is, you can see what a significant difference that's going to be for that student's career. So it matters who is paying attention to what you're doing. So we get back to the idea of networks again, and the different kind of roles, and it matters who in the network is paying attention to the work. And so you get very different impacts within those communities, because they can differentiate by role, then the role has an impact on who's watching what's going on. Yeah, more about that there. Authority and control. Lightweight enterprises. Now, I've said over and over again, these people don't know each other. They're weakly tied. They do not